Let's talk to Ivon Sampson, who's an immigration lawyer. Ivon, you're very welcome to TalkTV this afternoon. How are you?
Thank you, very well indeed.
Ivon, this is dodgy, it's wrong, it's illegal, and it shouldn't happen. What do you make of it?
Well, it shouldn't happen, and the National Crime Agency has got powers to prosecute these lawyers under the Nationality and Borders Act 2022. So that's the one thing, the powers are there to prosecute them. But the issue is fake asylum claims, whether they're assisted by lawyers or not. That's one issue. But there are a number of applicants making fake asylum claims. So we need a robust system to catch them out. And I'm afraid that just isn't there. There isn't proper training, the proper staff at the Home Office to properly assess asylum claims. An asylum applicant needs no more than their story. The Refugee Convention envisages that people fleeing persecution won't have documents, won't even have identity documents. So really the system needs to be robust to challenge an asylum application on its merits, on its credibility and plausibility. And I no doubt there are a number of people getting through the system who may not have a genuine asylum claim. If they're assisted by lawyers, they can, bad lawyers, they can help them to navigate through that process.
And this is, I mean, in this investigation, we had someone who went and said, look, I want to be an economic migrant. I've no real basis for doing that. I just want to come into this country. And then he was told, no, make up a story. Make up a story about how you're persecuted. We're going to put some fake footage forward in terms of you being in some sort of protest as well. We've had the illegal immigration bill. It passed last week, got royal assent in Parliament. Is that going to help in any way? Do you have any faith in that, Ivon?
Well, look, yes, it did pass through Parliament, but the backbone of it is the Rwanda policy. And I'm afraid I've said it time and time again, not a single asylum seeker is going to be sent to Rwanda because the policy itself is unlawful.
Alex, you're nodding.
Yeah, I said that from the beginning. I remember when this headline first appeared in the papers, and I said that plane's never going to take off. It ain't going to happen. This is just a giant PR exercise so the government can say we did everything we could.
So what can be done? What should be done, Ivon? How can we tighten things up? How can we make it fair?
Oh, look, it has to be fair, but also robust. And I'm afraid the system isn't that at the moment. The Home Office works on templates. The Home Office, that's my experience over 20 years, that we don't really have proper assessors of these asylum claims. And that's what we need. The finger of blame is the Home Office, is the Home Secretary. And you can blame a few lawyers that are a bit, committing criminal acts, I believe. And you can blame, but what you mustn't do is tarnish all asylum seekers because of a few people trying to rig the system.
It's not a few, though. There are a lot of people trying to rig the system. There are lots of ways in which people are trying to rig the system. If people are genuine asylum seekers, I personally have no problem with them coming to this country and us giving them asylum if they're here legitimately, if they're legitimately being persecuted. But lots of people are abusing the system and the government isn't dealing with it. You're talking about Suella Braverman there. She has very, very strong rhetoric. She talks the talk, but clearly she's not walking the walk.
I agree with you, but let's be quite clear about the data. So most people who are coming across the channel are deemed to be genuine asylum seekers. And if you look at the grant rate for countries like Syria, Eritrea, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, the majority of them are granted asylum. It's really where you come from that's really the important thing and what's happening in your own country. So people are coming from Albania or, say, Pakistan, another country. I think that, we should look at those asylum cases with a bit more vigour than we presently are. I mean, countries are in a mess.
Do you think, just talking about that, Ivon, sorry to interrupt you, do you think the authorities should go back into all the claims that these lawyers who are accused in the Daily Mail have been working on, go through them, make sure they're robust and accurate? Because I just don't have faith in anything that these people have been involved with now in terms of what they're accused of.
Well, let me tell you what the law says. If you've obtained immigration leave by deception, the Home Office can revoke it. That's the law. You cannot make a false asylum claim, and then which is found to be later to be false, and then rely on that decision. You can't. The Home Office has the powers to revoke it. Look, I don't know a single person that I know who's been prosecuted by the Crown Prosecution Service for lodging fake asylum claims. And that's what we need to do. we need to prosecute people. Then it's actually 2 years imprisonment for making a false asylum or immigration application. So why are people not being prosecuted? Why is the government not doing anything? Why are they blaming the lawyers? You know, they need to get their act together and start prosecuting those applicants.
He's right, Alex, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a major issue here, don't we? And it is about huge backlogs. But also, it's interesting to point out that I think it's around 70% of people who claim asylum here have already had their asylum applications refused elsewhere in Europe. You know, we are the sort of end of the line. Yeah. And I want to know.
And we are seen as a soft touch.
Right, what is already in our own legal convention? What is already in the canon of our own law and case precedent that means that so many people are more likely to be successful in the UK than they are in other countries? And I don't understand. Look, I have sympathy with anybody who's got a rubbish life, whatever the country they're from. Of course I do. But why is it the UK's responsibility to be the sort of refuge for the world? It just doesn't make sense to me. I know a lot of people speak the English language. I can see why we'd be a very inviting country to come to. But at the end of the day, it's not our job as British citizens to offer refuge to anybody who says they need refuge.
We can't solve all the world's problems. No. Yeah, absolutely. Ivon, thank you very, very much indeed. That's Ivon Sampson,